Good.
That's what I was
Same as always.
having office, but he had tape on the floor. And if you walk through the wall, you don't know.
Use the door.
Oh, there's shit.
Oh, it's easier.
You're just in time to start the coach.
I'm just a little late, but that's okay.
Sorry. We got 5:30. Do we next?
Nope.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Apologies, guys, roll call.
Oh, Charlie Wiltie,
Here.
Jenny David here, Roger May,
Roger Mayhew.
Roger,
Yeah.
Brenda Simmons.
Yes,
Craig Scott.
Here,
Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'd like to make one addition under unfinished business. And it concerns that property, given to West Branch Township, that, recreation complex on M55. But I'm not sure what they call it.
You'd like that under 9B?
Yes,
Any other additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to accept it with additions.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott. Any support?
second,
Support from Commissioner Simmons. All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Item 3, declaration of conflicts of interest. Are there any commissioners?
I have,
And then,
Have none either. Item 4, review of minutes, December 14th, 2023, regular meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the regular minutes.
I'll support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion?
Yes, in the, second motion, or third motion there, motion by Wiltie, second by Simmons. Wiltie was absent, as said above. So, I don't know, did I need to update or did it get changed?
We'll have to go into the probably YouTube video and see who actually did it,
Yeah.
because I don't have
Okay,
the
that's
minute, I
fine,
mean, I
that's
don't
fine.
have the written notes.
Well, I probably did.
Yeah, I think it was Scott and Simmons, most of the meeting. Any other discussion?
No,
All in favor, say yes.
yes,
Yes.
Opposed? Item 4B, December 21st, 2023, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
I'm good with those two. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll support that as well.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Item C, December 21st, closed session meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we accept the closed session then.
Support.
We have a motion, Commissioner Wiltie, support from Commissioner Scott.
Oh, you just have to sign it.
Yeah.
We got a pile right
We got a
here.
pile right here. Jenny.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, public comment on agenda items only. Is there any public comment on agenda items only in the room? Any public comment on the phone? Item 6, correspondence. I don't believe there were any. I didn't see any.
none.
Item 7, consent for agenda. You guys okay taking these individually?
If you'd like.
Item 7A, resolution to approve peer review committee agreements for a remonumentation program. This resolution is sponsored by Equalization Director Randy Booth. The State Survey and Remonumentation Act requires each county to prepare a county monumentation and remonumentation plan. It is the recommendation of the Equalization Director acting in this capacity as remonumentation grant administrator to authorize contracts with Larry Kavanaugh and Robinson Consulting Services LLC for services as peer review committee members for 2023. If approved, the proposed resolution authorizes a contract at a total cost not to exceed $700 for each agreement.
100?
$700 for each agreement. What did I say?
Yeah, 700. I thought it was more. That's okay. I'm sorry.
This is the same, there have been no changes, correct?
Just the price went up, was, I think, 600 last year.
Can someone entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll support.
Discussion.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie, support from Commissioner Scott, agree, discussion, Commissioner Simmons?
Yeah, on that remonumentation, we did claims and it was like, what, 17, 18, 19,000 dollars. So is that so much money for each point?
Right, so that's to the individual surveyors who had to go out and find those points and work their magic.
And that it was different surveyors than what.
It was two different surveyors, yeah. Same amount of money. So it's like,
So are they under contract with these peer guys?
And they're a separate group,
Oh.
so the peer's gonna review the work of the surveyors that were looking at the claims. And that was a separate resolution way earlier in the year.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is their fee for doing that work for the entire year.
I didn't look when I did those. Do you remember how much we have in the budget for that remonumentation stuff?
Not off the top of my head, but it is grant, so.
Okay.
we spent whatever the grant amount was.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charlie Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons.
Yes,
Craig Scott,
Yes,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Item 7B, resolution to approve fiscal year 2024 marijuana operation oversight grant application. This resolution is sponsored by District Health Department number 2. If approved, the proposed resolution will authorize application for a grant of $4,537 to be used for education, communication, and outreach regarding the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. District Health Department number 2 has administered this grant on behalf of Ogemaw County for several years. Continuation of the program is contingent upon approval of the grant application.
I'll make a motion for approve the resolution.
We have a motion from Commissioner Scott,
I'll support.
support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Jenny David.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charlie Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons.
yes,
Item 7C, resolution to approve a letter of agreement with Police Officers Labor Council Command Officers Unit. This resolution is sponsored by Administrator / Controller Timothy Delahoney. Article 16, Section 16 of the collective bargaining agreement between Ogemaw County Sheriff, and the Police Officers Labor Council Command Officers Unit set forth retirement benefits for eligible unit members. A recent review of retirement documents found that 2 union members were not properly enrolled for retirement benefits. Approval of the resolution will authorize execution of a letter of understanding with the unit of properly assigned current members to the defined benefit retirement division, and subsequently close that division to two new members. I'm sorry, close that division to new members.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Wiltie,
That's right.
We're on the last.
I'll second.
support from Commissioner Scott. I think we covered this in the closed session. Any questions, anything new on that, Tim? Any questions, commissioners? Roll call vote?
Brenda Simmons,
yes,
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Charlie Wiltie,
Yes.
Jenny David,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Claims, we had claims of a total of $256,966.45. Commissioner Simmons and Commissioner Scott reviewed claims, I believe. Would
Yes, I did.
you guys like to go ahead and,
Oh, it was big and there was a lot of one-time things going on, and then there was a lot of stuff that was just a little alarming. Of course, we voted on the $5,000 to the Northern Michigan assessment, that was in there. State of Michigan, the state ward, DHHS state ward collection, that came up, that's $11,000, or almost 12. Partners and Change, that was $9,000 for childcare. There was another, childcare one that was big too. Maynard Kosterman had a $2,000 bill. I ran into, the jail had a lot of food invoices, one after another after another. I mean, nearly a whole page just for Gordon's and then nearly a whole page for little Millie or Aunt Millie's. So I dug a little deeper and we're getting the November billing now,
Yes, I noticed that.
November and December billing, so. I asked Tracy a little bit about it and, don't know. I don't know why we gotta wait so long to get billing coming in. And it's not just one department, there's other departments that are waiting on billing. I'm looking at invoices that are well over a month old. It's hard to manage a budget if you're not paying your bills on. But we can't pay our bills unless they get to us. From the departments. And we know that food costs have gone up a lot and, we need to keep tracking that.
Where are we with the budget with that?
I couldn't pull the budget until these posted, which didn't get posted until this afternoon when I actually ran checks. So, I briefly looked at it. I think everybody's right around the 25% that we should be. I think somewhere at 23. I didn't notice anything overly, but I just glanced at it because I had to get the dog checks all printed and ready, and so they're ready to go out Tuesday morning after they're approved.
Comment.
Go ahead.
So with these late November bills coming in, that didn't do anything really to the budget.
It
Everybody-
didn't stick out to me, but again, I just briefly went through and looked at the percentages to kind of
Alright.
see where everybody was at.
Okay,
And it didn't stick out more than the 25%.
Okay. that was my
I did
concern when I
think
saw
maybe-
those late bills.
Maybe it would, only because there were so many from November. But I don't know that all the Decembers were in. I think there might have been the first week of December's in there, so.
Why the 19,940 for the surveying for J Card?
That's one of those,
That's one that
Okay,
Yeah.
And when you say that, Commissioner Simmons had that question about the budget. It's budgeted 45,390 for this year. Remonumentation,
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Thank you.
yes. So you can see, so J-Card is a surveying company that's doing the service. That was my question about, were they doing it for the others, but the others are reviewing.
it looks like if for some reason that amount sticks out too, for the assigned counsel for Wars and Wars, which was $7,500. And then also for $6,255 for Schreiber for assigned counsel.
So MIDC, that's a grant, and it's changed how it looks this year.
Okay,
It used to be they would get a monthly stipend at the beginning of the month, and then they'd have to submit their hours. And then if they went over, then they got whatever payment they were due over that amount. The grant was written a little different this year. It's purely billing. We don't give them that monthly amount in the beginning of the month. They have to submit their hours in billing. So it's all accurate and no extra money being paid ahead of time. There's a few attorneys that have not submitted any bills yet for October, November, December, so I am expecting a big one, but I have to report that grant by January 15th, so that's not gonna show up on this quarter.
and then the health department's in there for January through March. Why January through March of 2024? 32,397.
It's just the second quarter, the first quarter payments in there too, so.
I think
I see
there's
the
a
first
change in
quarter.
staffing or something. They do this all the time. They don't send the bill and don't send the bill, and then they wanna know where their payment is, and then somebody jumps in, sends the last bill, and then the bill says it should be paid the beginning of the quarter or something, so.
Yeah,
The email with
There's
this
two quarters.
said they did have a personnel change, and so whoever we were communicating with in the past was no longer sending them.
Right,
And so, yeah, I think we're just on the receiving end of a staffing change.
right.
But why does it say January through March of 2024? Why are we paying $32,000 now?
Well, the second quarter starts,
Next-
Sunday.
next week, yeah.
So,
I think the billing, it might have said that they expect payment at the beginning of each quarter.
Okay,
And then we just didn't get their last quarter billing until now because of the staffing change.
I have a couple of
go
questions.
ahead.
I noticed that, we did a car with Village Quick Lube here for over $1,100. And it was under the Whittemore Prescott Resource Officer. How did that happen? Why is Whittemore Prescott Resource Officer? Why are we doing brakes, wheel bearings, mounting and balancing and stuff on a car? Under this particular number? Under resource officer, why would we do that with a car?
What number is it under?
But each resource officer has a car
They have a car that they drive.
all the time.
They take it home with them?
Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, especially the Whittemore guy, he lives out there. As far as I know, he doesn't even come to town. I don't know if he does. Does he come to town much?
Comes down when he needs to.
Oh, okay.
So then the vehicles that they drive come under this resource,
They come under that budget, correct?
okay? Do we have enough in the budget to cover all this all of a sudden?
If I heard this question before tonight, I could have answered that.
I know that,
Okay, well, I just want to point that out.
because at the
Well.
beginning of the year,
You have the school
well,
resource
like that.
budget?
Yeah, let me see. That'd be a special fund, wouldn't it?
No, it's 101,
No, it's right there. 101, 30.
304, 303.
What did I call it? 101? 304?
Let me see.
did we do $75,000 for each resource officer?
That's what we bill. That's what we bill.
101, 304 is on the bill, correct?
I
It was one
can't-
of the school resources, yeah.
Can't find it.
304 would be Whittemore, 303 is West Branch Rose City. So 1,100 would go into 304, the Whittemore. And it would have been for service on that vehicle that he operates for performance of his duties.
Okay, well, I did not realize, I thought it was just when they were there, I didn't realize it was the maintenance on the vehicles also,
Correct.
to get back and forth to their job, okay.
that budget shows 2,750 for the gas, oil and grease category. There's another $100 for equipment maintenance, but that's it.
Now, is that for all three or is that on each one?
Just for.
On the bills?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what,
They're all
That's
full.
the Prescott budget.
Oh, right,
okay,
right there. Yeah.
okay.
The coded to,
304.
And for the resource officer
it
itself,
was coded to 304,759,
is that,
Gas, oil, grease.
But, okay,
so there's money in that budget.
Yep.
We gotta get gas the rest of the year too.
And the gas typically is a couple $100 per.
Yeah, it's a little bit more for Whittemore.
Actually, last month it was more for West Branch. I was surprised by that and I was gonna ask and I didn't, because I did claims our last meeting. Actually, West Branch was quite a bit more than Whittemore and I was surprised by that. But I didn't realize the gentleman lived over there.
For Whittemore?
Yeah. Yeah, there was quite a substantial difference in the gas amount from Whittemore to West Branch and I didn't ask, so that's my fault, but it did spark my eye.
so it's less for Whittemore, right?
It was quite a bit less.
Yeah, well, since he lives over there, I'm sure that's probably, right. Yeah, I didn't know that either, that's,
we have 69,104 for expenses. But revenue is 75,000
okay,
for that category.
okay. And, I have two more questions. Mr. Scott's already asked the one question. And I see there's an analysis on 2 boilers and it was not within the, maintenance agreement. Was there any reason for that?
That I have no idea. That was done by Chris and his maintenance of the boilers. And I only saw the invoice that came through and coded it. So the reasoning behind it will come from others.
Thank you very much. And the thing I noticed, I saw that we purchased, winter tires from down around the Detroit area. Is there any reason for that?
That's the My Deal group that we get our tires from.
Okay, thank you. That's all. I was just curious about that. I probably will not ask that question again.
Any further questions?
No, that's all I had.
Well, I'll make a motion to pay the claims.
I'll second.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Simmons. Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Charlie Wiltie,
Yes.
Brenda Simmons.
Yes.
Item 9A, resolution to authorize employee promotion, subject to motion to remove from the table. Would anybody like to make that motion?
Who put it on?
Would
the-
anybody, we put it on the table last meeting. Would anybody like to make that motion? Item B, property. Commissioner Simmons, you wanted this put on there?
Yes. I've obtained a little more information with some of the research I've been doing. That property that is out there on M55, that recreational complex, Ogemaw County paid $75,000 for that in 1994. And it's good land, and I also know that we are leasing the RV park, Parks and Rec is, and we also write grants, even though we're leasing that. So I'm saying that West Branch Township, if they're leasing that recreational place out there on 55, they can write grants if they want to write grants on that too. Also, just like we do for the RV park. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention that we did pay for that in 1994. I
Hey,
had,
buy it from.
West Branch Industry. I remember when that was purchased
What was it bought for?
for what it's being used for right now.
Really? That's good.
Wonder why, I'm sorry,
So I'm not,
They had the money on it.
I wonder why the county would buy it. So then the next question would be, obviously, if we want to move forward with what we discussed at the meeting, or if we want to keep the property, or if we want to sell the property.
I want to keep it.
I'm willing to sell it, get our 75 grand out of it.
Well, it's worth more than 75,000 now,
Well, yeah,
and it would cost us more than $75,000 now. I don't
I
want
don't wanna
to.
buy any property though. Not for a park.
I
I'm just
mean, if they're
surprised-
leasing it, they can write grants on it, just like we do with the RV park out on the business loop.
And the lease is for how many years was it?
99. It'll be over within 2000, was it, 2093, something like that.
I'm just surprised that, I mean, we've had a lot of discussion on this over the last year or more. I'm just surprised that, and you did inform me of this, so I thank you of that prior to the meeting. I'm just surprised that this wasn't brought about
Yeah, I didn't
before.
know. about it.
I just found it, was going through the stuff in the registrar's office, and I noticed that, and I asked about it, and I said, yeah, we paid $75,000 for that property.
Which office?
I went through the paperwork in the registrar's office.
Register of Deeds?
Hmm?
Register of Deeds?
Yes. And it was found there, and I showed it to Denise, and she said, yes, that's what it says. You paid $75,000 for that property. So it was just something that's overlooked on my part, whatever.
We've had a lot of conversation prior to the new commissioners coming on board about this property.
Denise was here last week and didn't say anything about it.
Well, she was here, but no one brought anything up about that property.
No, we had that committee of the whole
Oh.
talked extensively about that property.
Back when the High Banks property first came up, Denise came in and told us about all the different properties we own
Yeah.
throughout the county.
Yeah,
Little lots over in Mills Township and like Pointer Hill Park and the nature park and all that stuff. And that's what sparked a lot of this, because she came up and told us we own this property. Nothing's been said about that we paid any money for it. So, well, I don't wanna give it away if we paid money for it.
How about
At
if
least
we,
like to get what we paid for it.
how about if we put this on the committee of the whole? Now we have more things to think about. Obviously, all of us were not aware of this information. This information was just brought to light.
Well, let's invite the supervisor of township or
Yeah.
something to come in so they can
Absolutely.
hear
The
everything
same-
firsthand.
Yeah, let's ask some.
Because I don't think they are aware that it was purchased.
It was a fluke. I saw that and I gave it to the register and just going through papers and I said, is this what, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
What does this 75,000 mean?
Yeah.
She said, oh, you paid $75,000 for that property in 1994.
Yeah, yeah.
So can we put that on and verify this information and invite
Invite them.
township and whomever else is involved in this conversation? Anything else to that?
No, that was my only concern. I'm not willing to give away property we spent good money for. And it's worth a lot more than that now.
So let's
And it's 46 point some odd acres.
have that conversation. Item 10, administrator / controllers report.
The report is on the iPads. I don't have anything else to add to that.
What did I have? Just looking at your chart, I guess. I was looking at the bottom of that. A lot of time on meetings. Are those are attending meetings?
Yeah, it's just the meetings that's attending. I mean, it's the
All meetings,
combination of all meetings.
not just there.
Right, that just gives the transit meeting, several others that don't occur.
Looks like good news. We've gotten two bidders for the healthcare for the jail.
Two have expressed interest. One of them sent an extensive list of questions, and I believe next week, they're scheduled for two vendors to come through the corrections and just look at the facility and help them formulate in their mind what the cost will be.
Any questions for the minister?
So, when's the deadline for that?
January 12th.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I read that over,
There's been some holiday time during there and I think some time off, so. Not a whole lot on there.
no, I don't have any other questions.
Item 11, elected officials and department heads.
Yeah, Brett gave me some stuff. She said the election commission met last week. I guess I don't know all the details, but Karen was on that committee or commission, so she can give the details if there was, so, was it just to finalize?
Ballot review.
Okay, ballot review, okay. So she says ballots have been approved. We're getting ready to do the year-end stuff. She said postcards are being sent out to all households notifying voters of the 9-day prior. That's state mandate, but they're paying for it too. It's the state election. So those postcards were approved and they are going to be sent out. I think shortly, they've got to be out, I think by the next week of some sort. So, and then I'm just starting to wrap up year end and W-2s and stuff, hopefully in the next couple weeks.
Clerk, or just treasurer, geez, I do that every time. I
Karen
apologize.
Kowalski, your Ogemaw County Treasurer. I'm not going to approach the zone up there, but
That's all.
your bank risk rating reports are on your iPads for your review.
Can I ask what?
Go ahead.
The Robinson Capital Mercantile thing, now is that our numbers?
So Robinson Capital is an investment firm that I use for bank ratings.
Uh-huh.
And it shows you Mercantile and Huntington, the local banks that we have cash investments in, to show you where they stand as far as an overall risk rating for credit, liquidity. If you go through and read.
These are our numbers though, on the charts and things?
No,
No,
that is the bank's
the
rating.
bank's rating.
Yes. To
Okay,
show you that I'm investing in safe.
okay,
You know, being
okay.
a safe fiduciary of your funds where I'm investing. Just show you, we have an A rating for Mercantile and I believe it was an A- for Huntington. Just showing out, and I'm
Yes.
using secure financial institutions for your investment.
Okay, so do you have numbers here of your own or?
No, that is for today, just your bank ratings, showing you the risk assessment for the two banks that we locally use for our checking accounts.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, all right.
yes.
Now, we're
In
done.
January, you will get your quarterly update of your other investments. I have to wait for the interest to post.
Okay,
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 any
Thank you.
questions?
that did it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Under sheriff. Elected officials, department heads on the phone. Jeff, do you have anything? No,
Jeff, won't do that.
can't hear you, Jeff. There you go. Whoops.
There we go. I don't have anything to report.
Item 12, matters from the floor.
Can I ask the under sheriff anything?
Oh, sure.
You got some temporary scheduling changes going on right now, because you got a guy on leave.
We're working through it.
Is it gonna incur overtime?
Trying to keep it to a minimum.
Is there a position open or do you have to wait for,
There's no openings currently.
there is no openings? Oh, okay.
Is there a plan in case there is?
We're gonna plan on talking about that at the law enforcement committee, because there's a lot of issues that'll have to be addressed as far as personnel staffing levels over the next 12 months. So it's one thing I talked a little bit with Tim today. For some long range planning is try to keep the staffing levels solvent to keep operations and services available. So. Right now, we are continuing 24/7 operations. We're trying to keep overtime to a minimum, the best that we can. We have some other situations that have arisen that we're also dealing with. So
All right,
it's a fluid situation.
okay.
And our law enforcement meeting will be next Thursday.
After our
After
major
our-
board meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Motions for adoption. I don't believe there are any commissioners reports. Commissioner Sexton?
I really don't have too much since I, somehow got COVID. Didn't get to go to a lot of my meetings. So not much to tell.
Commissioner Mayo.
Oh. I went to Rose Township, their main thing was the money we were gonna get from the marijuana sales. Rose City, they had an audit going on and the clerk retired the 29th. And I don't know what you call her, but the girl underneath is gonna be acting as a clerk now in Rose City. And good hours, they were shopping for insurance. And they're talking about their fire protection renewal millage. That's what I got.
Commissioner Wiltie?
And don't have a lot for tonight. Transit meeting. We had our meeting last Thursday. It was a really productive meeting. Construction on our new building out there for our cold storage is underway. They at that point last week, they had some poles set and they were moving forward, so that was good to see. The new transit sign out front is up. It looks nice. We were able to get all of those holes filled, which was really good and good on our equipment on the existing asphalt driveway. We will discuss at our next meeting, our next COW meeting, in regards to the pricing, where we would like to really see it. We're gonna talk about that again here and hopefully get your guys' support on that. And then we're gonna continue moving forward. Tim's been a big help with this, coming to all of our meetings, with a assistant director position. Other than that, Saturday service has still been going on, service through the holidays, hasn't been interrupted at all, normal service. Everything pretty much for the transit. Mills Township, High Banks, you know, I have talked to you guys about this. Danny Johnson, who is a Mills Township resident, is a new member on the Parks Rec. He will start with the help of Mr. Bell from the Parks and Rec, and possibly maybe Bob Griffin will be involved with that 501c3 also. So that's gonna start. We have a bunch of people in the area that have already stood up, said, hey, we want to donate once that's ready to go. We're gonna have kind of an open house meeting once the 501c3 is all set up, and we'll let you guys all know about that date. But there's just a ton of people excited about that, so that's a great thing. Mills Township's still moving forward with looking into building a new township hall. Due to this nice weather, you know, the parks, the Skidway Lake Park has gotten really close. Beautiful park. They really did a really nice job there. Um. Housing Committee, sadly, we still have not heard any results back from the state. I thought for sure by the new first of the year, we'd have some information, and we don't. That's all I have for tonight.
Commissioner Scott?
Yeah, attended a couple of road commission meetings. They discussed a couple of private road agreements, and then they're looking for a temporary waymaster for the weight restriction season. They're interested in a certified deputy to do so. The airport, we reviewed 2023. Some of the things that's been happening, ramp fees increased 50% due to increased fee schedule. We raised the cost of landing and taking a plane off. And then the increased volume, just the increased volume of aircraft this year is brought up the ramp fees considerably. There was an airport specific ARPA grant of $32,000 this year. 60 more acres of farmland developed. Now we have over 90 acres to date. We have 2 more aircraft rental sites signed up for this year. So the 2 more planes are there all the time. The crack sealing project this year was funded by the state and federal funds with just a 5% local match. And then two local businesses were sold this year to airplane owners, and they are using our airport to come in and visit their businesses more often.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's cool.
So, yeah, there's been a number of planes coming in for prospective businesses. And then we have quite a few local companies that have airplanes. Of course, UPS flies in overnight stuff every morning and every night. Flies it in the morning and takes it out at night. Taylor Door has a couple of different aircraft.
There's a dentist also.
They're coming over here from Wisconsin all the time. These 2 companies is this new car dealership that's going on there at the loop there, and then M Supply sold out Midwest Supply now, and that guy's got an airplane too.
What car dealership?
Right there, the old right next to Brian's Fruit Market there.
The tattoo shop used to be.
Yeah,
What's going in there?
used car lot.
Automotive.
Oh,
It's a buy here, pay here.
okay.
So that guy owns a bunch of them all over the place. And
What's the airport's plan? Isn't it gonna be shut down this summer for a period of time? One of you guys just recently?
we may, if we can get the runway reconditioning project underway next year, it'll probably shut down for a few weeks. Yeah, maybe up to 6.
Well, I think when we talked about it at the board meeting, if I'm not, that they were gonna close it down during a slow time,
Yeah, try to get it
So-
later in the season, later in the summer,
so it's not during busy season.
more towards fall.
Anything else?
Yeah, the city of West Branch went there, they passed an ordinance for a new building department. So they'll have their own building department and inspector
Well,
and disengage from the county,
That's the city of West Branch?
yes. I know a representative that's here tonight that's from the city. If you had a question,
So they did their own ordinance and building inspector?
the mayor's here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I sometimes forget that. I just.
there's
forget, but-
discussion about, huh?
Was that conversation that's been taking place for a period of time, or was that
Oh, yeah.
decision fairly, okay?
Yeah, this isn't overnight. They discussed some new veterans banners put along the streets. And then, they had a water well and pump that they had repairs made to. And in Ogemaw Township, there's discussion on the 2024 road improvements. There was discussion about putting $500,000 on the May election for fire protection. And, I'm not sure. Maybe Paul, is that $500,000 spread over every entity of the Ogemaw Fire District?
The Mills Township?
No, $500,000 for fire protection for the Ogemaw fire?
For Ogemaw, that, yeah, I think.
Is that gonna be over the whole district of the fire department?
That would be everybody that's covered by Ogemaw.
Okay, so that'd be the city, West Branch Township, Clacking, or I don't know, is Clacking covered by that or Rose City?
Edwards, I don't know.
Edwards, Horton,
Horton,
and
West
Churchill,
Branch Township.
West Branch Township and Churchill too, right? I think,
50%.
I think so.
Off the top of my head, I can't quote it all.
Anyway,
And what size village is that?
half a mil for fire protection in the May election. And then the city is, or the Ogemaw Township is linking their water system with the city West Branch. Make a continuous type of loop and everything.
What's the cost of that?
Really, it isn't that bad. The linkage wasn't really too bad. The big thing, there's some property that had to be, well, you know about it more than I do.
It's all a grant, so
It's
there's
all
no,
grant funded.
it's 100% grant
Yeah,
funded.
okay. Had to get some property right away to make it happen. So. Okay,
Is that it?
yep.
Was there a pledge of allegiance event this morning?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I received a email from Lieutenant Assistant Post Commander. I'll just read it to you guys because it was addressed to all of us. Michael R. Brown, Miss David, I had every intention of attending this morning's Pledge of Allegiance as led by Ogemaw County Veteran of the Year. When I arrived at the county building about 9:45 and found the Board of Commissioners chambers empty, I went to Miss Schultz's office to see if the event had been moved to a different location. She told me that it was at 9 a.m. and had concluded, and those attending had waited a few minutes for me to arrive. Please express to the Board of Commissioners my sincerest apologies for missing the event and causing a delay in the meeting. So he thought it was at 10 o'clock and it was actually at 9. So he asked me to apologize to everybody. So that was the email I received. I don't have anything. My meeting starts,
What was the event?
Pledge of Allegiance event this morning, Veteran of the Year.
Today's national. pledge of
In the
allegiance.
county building
Charlie.
or
Yeah.
across the
In the
street?
chambers.
In the commissioner chambers.
I saw it.
Did I get
Are you-
notice about that? I don't remember.
I think we talked about it a couple weeks back.
They were asking if you'd move the board meeting to a early time.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, that's just what I heard. There was discussion of asking to change this to an early meeting.
Yeah.
To incorporate
Right,
that.
you two didn't want to just change our schedule. So it was discussed
Oh,
briefly.
okay, okay.
So the Veteran of the Year could lead our pledge. We did ask
Oh, okay.
at 9 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So that was a few weeks back.
Okay.
15, general public comment. Any general public comment in the room? Any general public comment on the phone? Can someone entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll entertain.
Mr. Mayhew and support from Mr. Simmons. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 6:12.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone. Be safe.